it play and call it work.
MiniWarGaming Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com. Welcome Wargamers to a sponsored video by Anvil 8 Games, and we are going to be covering the game Aetherium. Aetherium is a 32mm skirmish level strategy game based in a world between worlds. If you're watching this video and you wish to pick up this game, there are links in the video description below. One link to their website, which is anvil8.com/Aetherium. Also a link to their Facebook page. There's also a promo code, which will be right here, which is MiniWar12, and you'll get 15% off the game should you purchase it through these links and using this code. Let's unbox this box. Time to see what we got here. Oh, I gotta smell that new game. There we go. This is the contents that you get in the Aetherium box. Let's start with the rulebook. This 100-page full-color rulebook includes everything that you will need in order to start playing the game. You got your game terminology, the history of the world of Aetherium, an overview setup, overview gameplay, the game itself with all of the mechanics, protocols, which are your more advanced rules in the game, operations, which are missions or scenarios that you can play, and then you got lore and rules for the two starting armies, the Axiom and the Nanomei. May not be saying that right, but that's how I'm saying it in this video. Aetherium is played on a 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot game mat, which they refer to as the quantum noise mat. Schema. Schemas are the individual tiles that are placed upon the server to represent the safe areas in the Aetherium that programs may enter. Mindful users will always stay within the processing boundaries of the schemas. And I will note that these are nice and glossy and good material, and they are double-sided. Each are double-sided. The area within the Aetherium and that the game is being fought over is known as the server. This refers to the quantum noise mat and the schemas. And I will note that with the schemas, there are 2 large ones, 4 medium-sized ones, and 6 small ones. Aetherium comes with 2 command consoles. These are the mats that you'll play, that you put all your cards on, and they are each double-sided. Some of the game pieces or hardware includes combat dice, which are 12-sided dice. You get 6 of them in the box. And you also get tokens, which keep track of recalibration and RAM in the game. Tokens! There are various circumstances in the game that require a physical game piece, such as firewalls, quantum noise, or control of pylons. The specific effects of each circumstance will be explained in greater detail in the How to Play video. For the cards that you get in the game, we have data cards down below, which correspond with the program activation cards. At the back of each card you see this. Each of these 10, you see that. And that's what they look like for the 2 factions. Console damage deck, RAM gauge, and recalibration cards should you not want to use the command console. Let's take a look at the miniatures that you get in this box, starting with the pylons and nodes. Here they are, unassembled, unpainted, and voila! For your viewing pleasure, we have had some sent to us that have been painted so that you can view them in a much better light. These are nodes, and these are pylons. These are pylons for the Axiom faction. And what do they do? Well, nodes and pylons are the devices that stabilize the Aetherium and make the raw psychological landscape habitable. These crucial structures keep the quantum noise at bay and allow for a sustainable processing area for users to enter. In the game, they accomplish important tasks. First, they create a space that programs inhabit safely. Second, they are the devices through which programs may enter play. Third, they dictate who can move schema around the board. Fourth, nodes and pylons grant RAM to the faction that controls them. These are extraordinarily valuable pieces of data transference and will often act as the focus of the game. The Aetherium is built around pylons and nodes, which act as a protective warding against the noise and as the fundamental architecture of the world. These become a currency in the game. The more players control them, the more resources they generate. The more resources they generate, the more they can literally manipulate the reality as they play within it. Next up, we've got the Axiom. This is what you get. This is unassembled and unpainted. Let's show you the painted version of these guys. The Axiom, the priests of power. Order is freedom. Obedience is salvation. The Axiom is a singular civilizing entity that lords over the loosely assembled remnants of old Europe in North African territories. From the ashes of the first great trade war, the Axiom movement has been the salvation for nearly 1.5 billion souls in a dour and brutal future. Citizens of the Axiom worship the religious zeal, the notion of order and secular progress. No matter that progress is an illusion, propped up by a large, sterile government bureaucracy, with its stringent controls and massive, unwieldy propaganda machines. Lady Emilia Mastrona is the avatar that you get in the starter set. She is basically the leader of your army, should you be choosing to field the Axiom. Grenadier, which is a function. He's a character that you get as part of your army as well. The Grenadier is not a leader of an army. He is a very strong support to an army. He's tough to hurt because when you hurt him, he makes it so you're stunned and you can't attack him again, which is pretty sweet. He also has a lot of hit points, so he's a little bit harder to take down, and he has really good damage output. Hounds, Alpha and Omega, they are a subroutine. They work really well as a team. They're codependent. One has a nice laser eye shooty ability, and the other one has a more close combat ability. And if one attacks one, the other will attack the one who attacked the one. So that is a layman's way of saying they work well as a team. Praetorians, they're a linked subroutine. They're basically the bread and butter of your army. You put them up front, you protect your avatar, you protect your leader. And taking a look at the second faction that you get in Aetherium, that is the Nanomei. And these are the models unassembled, unpainted. And let's take a look at what they look like when they are painted. The Nanomei, wild, reckless, free, no matter the cost. The Nanomei are an extraordinarily disparate, loosely formed, and decentralized collective, though even that vague description might be at once too generous and too constrictive. Nevertheless, the collective Nanomei movement takes a singular image as its guiding principle: the mask. Innately gifted hackers can bend the Aetherium's fluid reality, and the wildly talented Nanomei hackers have an extraordinary ability to manipulate their immediate surroundings. Though they lack the material resources of the massive corporate houses and governmental channels of power, they have instead embraced the anonymity afforded by their profoundly coded representation in the Aetherium. One noted personality in the movement is rumored to present a calling card that repeats as an old adage: give a man a mask, and he will show you his true face. Inevitably, mayhem follows. Now for the characters. The Mask, he is the avatar, the leader of the army. He's quick, elusive, hard-hitting. He's hard to get, and he's able to deal a lot of damage. Tav, he's a function. He's a lot of damage control with this guy. He's extremely hard-hitting, and he allows you to manipulate the board in such a way so as to block certain movement or line of sight, or the ability that your opponent has to attack you freely. Picketers, they are a subroutine. They actually act as really good distraction units. You can throw them up there. They're kind of like fodder. You get a lot of them. They're able to take away abilities from units that are in base contact with them, and they just cause a lot of mayhem. Riot Girls, they are a segmented subroutine. They can choose to act together or act independently of each other. They're kind of like your jack of all trades unit. They're hard to hit, but they're easy to kill. They have good ranged abilities and good close combat abilities. And let's not forget the bases. You do get some bases in this. I didn't actually show them before. Just wanted to make sure that they weren't overlooked. Anvil 8 Games is a young company making top quality stuff that has spent the last 3 years really earning its reputation as a solid new company. The Aetherium is a 2-player box set. It is packed and an absolute bargain for gaming goodness. The Aetherium is obviously inspired by the writing of William Gibson, so it will feel a little bit familiar to fans of not only The Matrix, Tron, Ready Player One, but also games like Netrunner and Shadowrun. They put a unique twist on this as players operate directly within the virtual mindscape, which opens an incredible landscape on which to play, with one important twist: the quantum noise. Tile movement. This is a truly unique mechanic. The digital dream world of the Aetherium is malleable. The tiles, called schema, literally move around as the board when you play upon it. This means that you genuinely cannot play the same game twice, even if you set up the board in an identical manner for some reason, because the landscape will shift underneath you in different ways. More importantly, the unique nature of the schema movement introduces a brand new way for players to think strategically in your games. It's truly innovative. Players can pull objectives towards them, push enemies away, spin tiles to find that perfect backstrike, and literally reshape their reality as they play. Recalibration mechanic. Paired with the tile movement, the recalibration mechanic really makes the game something new. The activation system is I go, you go, so both players are constantly engaged. Moreover, that fundamental mechanism never pauses, so even players with less programs running on the board will actually be running those programs more frequently. As we're wrapping up this unboxing video for Aetherium, what you get in this game right now, there are 4 factions that are available for play. There is a 5th faction that you can get at the online store, which is actually fan-made. That's pretty cool. It's created. There's a 6th faction coming out in the spring of 2018. Adepticon 2018 will have the pre-release for this new faction called the Ramox. And Gen Con 2018 will have the full faction, all the minis and everything that you can get for that. Plans for the future? These guys plan on having 8 factions, and so there's a lot of growth for this game. And again, if you want to pick up this game, MiniWarGaming fans get 15% off of their web store. You just need to put in the coupon code MiniWar12. Links in the video description below to their web store and their Facebook page. And this has been the unboxing for Aetherium.